Okay, so I just want to go over the new letter that was emailed out and posted from Calli Knight on a few new answers for some of the questions, and go over my thoughts on the answers. First, I'm going to just read the letter. Hello, all. I am writing to follow up with one site update and with answers to a couple of key questions that were asked on various calls this week. 1. Executive Constantine and King County Public Health issued new guidelines for who will be able to occupy both the White Center and Kent isolation quarantine facilities this morning. Public Health will not be placing any individuals in the facility who is able to quarantine or isolate without the need of social services or additional supports, behavioral health, etc. So my issue with that is that's great, except for where are you going to put these people? You can't say no to these people. That's not fair. Also, there's going to be a lot of folks coming up that are going to become homeless that also are going to have these types of issues. And it's just the population is going to get larger and larger of these types of people. So I don't think they should be turning these types of people down. It didn't say that. It did say that they weren't going to be housed at the Kent or the White Center site. What I do think they need to work on is finding a site that is meeting the needs of those folks and has the proper staff as far as counselors, case managers, medical staff that can be on site 24/7. I think they have the funding and they can pay those people accordingly. So that's what their next bit of organizing needs to include. I'm going to go on to the next part of the letter. 2, public health and facilities management staff clarified for me the unique criteria that parcels and facilities need to meet in order to qualify as an isolation quarantine facility. The current public health criteria on isolation and quarantine facilities are as follows. Doors that face outward. No shared corridors. Individual hygiene facilities in each room. Individual self-contained HVAC system in each room. Great. I think there's other criteria that they definitely need to add to this, but those are all great ideas and things that need to be in place. I could add to this list a lot of things, but hopefully we'll see. The next part. For the siting of modular units, additional screening criteria is applied. To the extent possible, county-owned sites in an unincorporated King County for ease of permitting. I don't understand that, but parcel large enough to accommodate multiple modular. Parcel able to hook up to utilities. Okay, so sure. I think there's other things that are important as well, and hopefully they'll be adding to this list. It says these criteria will be updated as additional public health guidance is issued. Then the next thing on the letter, number 3, finally, there was a question regarding on how many parcels King County owns in unincorporated areas and how many meet the unique criteria for a pandemic quarantine. The answer to that is King County owns 4,202 parcels of land across the county. Filtering out parcels not in unincorporated King County, those smaller than a half an acre, and those designated for incompatible uses, examples, land use restrictions, environmental limitations, and legal encumbrances, etc., leaves 34 properties. Identifying other pertinent characteristics such as access to utilities, required extended analysis, or a site visit to each of these properties. Given the urgency of this situation, based on the emergency declaration, King County relied on staff knowledge of the remaining sites to determine sites that met the original criteria. Still, equity. That should be another part of the criteria that's assessed. And I'm also thinking how close to residential multi-level housing, especially including low-income housing, these sites are. Yeah, I'm thinking, I don't know where these other 34 properties are, but my guess is they're not as vulnerable of an area as this particular site. Then she goes on to say, please do feel free to email me if you have any questions about information provided here. Additionally, I'm glad to report that the county made an offer to an individual to fill the much needed role of language equity program manager and hope to onboard that individual within the next week. In the meantime, we are working with public health to coordinate translation of materials. Good. I hope this happens before the site is opened and that we are all able to get that information out to the community as well as the public. I myself got a letter translated in Amharic from a gentleman named Barakat, and I know he's with an organization. I will get that information and make sure I talk about him a little more later. He's helping a lot with all of this, and I want to make sure he's given credit. And he is going to be my go-to person for that language stuff until the person is identified who is going to be in charge of that. So I just posted, or I'm in the process of posting another video now of update on the actual site. They are tearing down the abandoned building that is there in order to place more modulars. So hopefully that'll be up soon and you can check that out here too. Make sure you're sharing this and subscribing and getting this out. I'm updating this every day for now, and hopefully I'll be able to continue to do that. And I really thank everybody that's watching and sharing.